Can not crash this time. Yeah, I've
Hold
seen a
on.
couple of guys here, like, you saw this guy over here, right?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I'm getting really slow responses here.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow, it looks like everything's crashing again.
I can hear you all right.
Yeah, what is going on here?
They look pretty cool.
Windows is crashing.
What?
Uh-huh. Application is not responding. Program may respond if you wait. Let me... Yeah, huh. That's weird. Well, let's see what happens. This may crash out again. If it does, maybe the end of the stream for the night, because I clearly am having issues with my system. No, wait. It recovered. Alright, you know what? Let's see what's going on here. Why is my system being all stupid? I think it's Flash Player, to tell you the truth. I've been having endless problems with it since a couple of updates ago. Alright, but it looks like we're still online, so hey, what do you know?
All right.
Whatever viewers I may have had are probably long gone by now. But if you guys are still there, now we're in the Winter Wonderland. If
Trying to pick
I
between guns now.
if I continue the stream, I might go into some of the more traditional action, or I might just sit here and farm for a while and end the stream. I'm not sure. This more or less was an impromptu stream, kind of made at the last moment, so I've just been wanting to farm to get items and stuff. I got some modules to buy, got some Christmas guns to buy, and yeah, there's many items that are available. Having a look at the vendor here, you can see a lot of outfits, ones from last year, ones from this year, new ones, the generally available ones, different weapons, the lightsabers, I forgot about those. Those are basically Star Trek based weapons that have a very distinct lightsaber type glow. Modules, and then these actually are modules that you can use outside of the winter event, and they are pretty cool.
Yes.
That's primarily why I'm here, is to get these.
Which, of course, by this point, you could probably totally afford a bunch of them right now. Are they bind on pickup? Yep. Character bind on pickup.
I'll have to remember that so I don't end up screwing myself and getting ones for my other characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, endothermic inhibitor beam. Interesting.
Gumdrop mine. Trying to see if there's another item that is like similar to tactical, like a grenade or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like the shaved ice gateway and the shaved ice flurry would be nice both for science. Obviously, most of these things are very engineer,
Uh-huh.
contain engineering similarities.
Yeah, turrets and
Turrets and,
placeables.
yeah, you know what I mean, toys and avalanche and stuff like that. So, I'm not sure.
Now, the rainbow cannon, the one that I want is the shaved ice flurry, right?
The shaved, no, the one that I think you're
Oh,
wanting.
shaved ice turret. That's the one I want.
Wait, are you talking? But that's a turret, though.
Uh-huh.
I think that one works like the Iconian turret.
Yeah, I think that's the rainbow turret that spews out. It's like a rainbow spray.
Well, there's this other one that I'm seeing that I think maybe the one that you were thinking is it's the shaved ice gateway, and it creates a shaved ice gateway to damage snowmen with a continuous beam.
Now that one I think actually is the one that creates the blob of rainbow.
Yeah,
Yeast is good
that's what
for
I thought you were
business.
wanting.
Yeah, there's
Otherwise,
no
I think,
telling. Then you got the explosive gumdrop, which is like a bomb.
yeah.
Avalanche, which is orbital strike, basically.
hmm Snowball turret, the snowball mortar, the gingerbread defense squad, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely a tactical thing. Yeah, it looks like most of them are. It's like engineer stuff almost exclusively.
Yeah. And not to confuse anybody. Anybody can use these things
hmm
like any career. I was just trying to be creative and pick the ones for the career that would orient themselves with that. I'm going to
I
ask a
have
holiday
winter
question.
items for a bargain.
Which of the holiday items have shared cooldowns with each other? Hopefully none, but it's worth, like, I'd be kind of bunk if, like, the gateway, awesome. None of them.
Oh, so you can just spam them.
Yeah.
Yeah, oops, those are bound. Can't move those. We can move these, though. Okay. How many harpangs do I need? I have last year's winter tribble. Grab him. Be festive. Put him on my toolbar. Can't use my shard right now anyway, so we'll just trade out the shard for a minute.
I wonder if I should get
have
ice
winter
boots on this
items
guy.
for a bargain.
You should get ice boots on every character that doesn't have them.
Yeah. Guess I'm just torn between a gun and ice boots. A gun or a thingy or ice boots. Let's see, I have a gun and I have the defense squad, so let's go for the ice boots. Try and be evenly fair. And this dude got a hat, so I'll just try and go a little even. Boom. Frosted boots.
So,
Yes.
let's see now. I should have enough to get... Oh, dude. We're being stupid. Cones, 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 cones,
Oh,
cones,
snap,
cones,
snap,
cones,
snap.
cones, 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 cones. Where am I going?
I was kind of wondering the same thing. You were heading in the right direction, then you took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Damn
I have
Albuquerque.
frosted feet. Here we are at Cones.
Yeah, and in case anybody doesn't know why there's that whole joke of wrong turn or left turn at Albuquerque is Albuquerque is one of those places where you can literally link to any road
We
to
need
any
to
part of the
activate our village
country.
defender. We need to build a snow conian, collect ice and syrup, and deliver it to the town center. We need fuel for once collected.
Because just about every highway comes together there. You can get anywhere. Including Incredibly Lost.
As demonstrated by Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, I don't even think it's politically correct to run Bugs Bunny cartoons anymore. Probably
Oof.
get sued these days.
Enemy combatants in close proximity.
Back
Alright.
to melting candy
Yep.
and getting shaved ice.
I can get so much syrup now.
Ah, something frustrating when you're melting candy and you get pegged with a snowball
Uh-huh.
right when you're about to pick it up.
I've got this little corner over here that's just... It's a pattern, but, you know, it works.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
they
I'm doing. I got my little spot and just taking out snowballs and snow guys and being all anti-snowmen.
And
we
because
need
I
fuel
cleared
for
up...
our bill
Whoops.
once collected.
Take items, please. Take the ice.
Enemy targets on sensors.
Take the ice. Blow up these snowmen. Strike a pose.
Nice.
Bam! Through the cover shield. Dun dun dun. Alright.
Combatants in close
Take
proximity.
out these snowmen.
Uh-oh.
Melt the candy. Best use for a phaser ever.
Strike pose.
Doing a little modeling over there.
Yeah. You know,
Enemy targets on sensors.
that would count.
Yeah, ice is like a camera. It adds 10 pounds at least.
Yeah, you know.
As this one comedian said. What's the problem? Well, you know the camera, it adds 10 pounds. Well, how many cameras were on you?
Oof.
Enemy targets on sensors.
Oof.
And actually, I can say from having worked in film, it is the camera, it's horrible, actually.
Mm.
It picks up a lot of things that, you know, just, you know,
Like
moles and wrinkles.
I never knew I had a bump there.
Mm-hmm.
That should be enough ice for the Snowconian.
There you go. Have all the ice. Go get me some more candy. I just want candy. And, responding to a guy who's asking if I still ground PvP.
Oh, nice.
The Snow Overlord is
And
attacking.
no, not really. More of a casual player now. Maybe one day.
I do from time to time, but the problem is it's like the real challenge with any of the PvPs, both ground and space, is the fact that it's not regularly popping.
Whoa, did you see
So
that?
you can't go do anything else while you wait 15 minutes for a pop. You know? As much
Yeah.
as I'd love to play some PvP, it's like, well, I'd like to play in general too.
Yeah,
I
and
can't
again,
do that.
you can't do bug hunt and Brotherhood of
Yeah.
the Sword while waiting for a damn PvP queue to pop it.
Yeah.
And plus, again, gone are the days like this turret right here is the one that I want. Shaved ice turret.
That one? Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
That's the one I want.
That is the one you want.
But,
Oh no, the Snow Overlord has frozen one of our buildings.
oh no. Oh, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, lost to the days of the teams and the fleets, like Federation Emergency Services, Fistus Sisters, Tip of the Spear, whatever those one guys are called.
Hammer Squadron?
Yeah, I was gonna say those guys that thought they were really good, they really weren't. Yeah, those guys.
They can
and-
hold their own, but they weren't magical.
Yeah.
They were just another team, is really what it was. Oh my god, I'm like trapped in a horde of snowmen. I think where Hammer Squadron really, one of their strong suits, I would say, or rather what put them on the map is that they took engineering to like the extremists.
Right.
You know, they would take a team of 5 engineers in there and just hoard out all the toys. Just dump toys upon toys.
By my
Now this
heavens,
guy Baldwin.
we've lost another
Baldwin.
building.
Don't you know Baldwin? Mr. Big
Baldwin?
Chief, Baldwin at Mr. Big Chief. I thought he was affiliated with us for a while. Or affiliated with one of the fleets we knew. Either way, he just made the comment that he's thinking about, you know, getting into it again. It's like, good luck. When you see guys who have stacked like some of the exploitable things that are out there. And that's the problem. They need to add new maps. They need to revamp PvP from the ground up. And they need to not worry about people complaining about balance, because there's no such thing as balance in warfare or combat. The next guy that knocks you out at the bar, complain to him about it being unbalanced.
Yeah, right.
And he'll be like, I'm sorry, what?
Please stop
You know?
the snow
Well, you have
overlord
bigger
before
muscles
he
than I
raises
do.
another
And he'd say,
building.
well, you should be quicker than I am because you're smaller.
Right.
Or vice versa, you know?
Or feel
anyway.
free to go to the gym or something, you know?
Yeah, go take some kung fu classes. But the point being, everything in this game has a counter. You know, most war games are that way. People complain about balance, and it's like, no, get your team to come up with a way of countering it.
Yeah, I remember, what did we have? There was, I forget which one it was now, but there was something that had came out that was kind of rough on, you know, rough against people, but it was literally one of those things that it took one of each career with combined capabilities to actually induce a counter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it took the team to counter this. And you want stuff like that.
Well, and remember, to counter Biggles, we came up with the team, you know, with the science officer buffs themselves with the tricorder so they can detect cloak.
Yeah.
Turn up your sound volume so you can hear them. Yeah. And
Yeah, it was a lot
before
of that.
long, he would not even queue with us, remember? He would see us in the queue and leave.
Yeah.
He'd show up and immediately leave his team behind.
See, that's what I
Another
want. You see this
gingerbread
big
building lost
ball
to the
of
snow overlord.
rainbowness.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the gateway.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Throwing syrup. Gotta deliver that syrup. Oh, they already ate my whole syrup supply? Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I'm gonna melt some candy real quick here.
I'm trying
Animation.
trying to keep a steady gun on these minions. He just brings so many up.
Yeah, if the two of us had those flamethrowers, we could do a lot of damage in this and the tides. Because just side by side flamethrower everything, kill it all.
Right.
Because like those guys
You did
earlier
it!
talking about
You helped to
DPS with
defeat
their
the
snow guns,
overlord.
I bet none of them hit the
Thank
aim
you for your
button.
help. The villagers would like you to have this
Right.
reward
Hell,
for
I still
saving
use my
our
gambling
home.
device.
Mm-hmm. I think it still lands critical hits. So
I
yeah.
haven't really paid attention, but yeah. Hey, the
And
defense
again-
squad survived.
Yeah, and again, honestly, these scenarios aren't really designed in a win-lose frame of mind.
Yeah.
They're
you know,
designed
just-
in a everybody wins. You can just get a
wanna
little
have
bit
some
more.
fun.
Best you can get is a little more.
Yeah. Be a little silly, have a little fun.
Eat some pies. Get
Eat
away
some
from my
pies.
pies, motherfucker. See, and then you get assholes that come up right on your pies, dude. Like that jazz guy.
What is wrong? He's in his pajamas.
He doesn't even have shoes on. Are you a bum that's eating the pies? Excuse me, sorry. Then we got ultraviolet across the table from us.
Dang it.
My Blackberry pie! Hard to maneuver around the table with the ice boots on, probably.
Kinda messed myself up on that. I think I'm gonna end up finishing this with like 3 pies. Now I'm hungry for pie.
I could eat some pies. Blackberry
Yeah.
one actually sounds really damn good.
They should do something like a tuliberry pie.
Yeah, see, there you go. I like that idea because then it's Star Trekky.
And blood pie.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say Klingon blood pie. Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone? I have actually a picture. It was from STO, Star Trek Online, that was sent to Facebook. And it's a picture of the Klingons and the original Star Trek crew hanging around a table, all with awkward looks on their faces. And it says, "Happy Holidays. What did we just eat?"
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So again, this one keeps it going. Like, Tides of Ice will be beginning in 2 minutes, and that puts us right back into the action with the snowmen. And I just find these missions to be endlessly fun. I don't know why. They're just silly. I think it's because for once, Jazz, we don't have to be those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to brag on our capability, but often in queued events, we end up carrying teams. I'm not bitching because, you know, I don't expect everybody to be tactical geniuses in a game and, you know, to know every nuance of a queued event. But it happens so often. So often.
Yeah, and it's one of those like, well, can y'all just try? Please? Just try and do good.
Yeah, and it's not like, you know, you have to go study military strategy to be good at these STFs, you know? They're not that hard. But some of them do require a little bit of effort. They require you to, as Jazz said, try just a little bit.
A little bit of reading, perhaps.
Or, God forbid, look around you, and if you see somebody that's doing well or looks like they know what they're doing, ask them a question or two. You know, social game.
I mean, that's where me personally, I have no problem asking questions in zone chat. You know, because you won't find a more, how do I say this?
Receptive
larger amount
crowd.
of information.
And receptive people.
Yeah,
Like,
I
right
mean,
now
sure,
I
you're
could
gonna
type
get
in...
the person to make a joke from time to time, kind of
Yeah.
thing. But if you have thick skin, who cares?
Assimilated snowmen
Yeah.
are approaching the
And
gate to the winter
even the
wonderland.
trolls,
They
they're
will arrive
just
in
there
1
to
minute.
fuck with you. You know?
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
that.
we're missing Tides of Ice.
I'm here.
Oh God.
You know, just don't take it personally, and 99% of the people are friendly. Like, right now I could type in like the dumbest noobest question on earth and people will give me very friendly, helpful advice. Like, I could type in something like, "I need some eggs," cry face, and people would leap to my defense and go, "Eggs aren't working, bro. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Thursday they'll probably fix it." A couple of people will be like, "Fuck games, I'll bug eat shit." But, you know, there's a Grinch in every Christmas.
Right, there you go. Great way to put that. Tie it in.
Most of the time, zone chat's totally asinine. Just FYI. So generally don't pay attention to it unless you do have a question. Because they're
Yeah.
either talking about politics that they don't understand, or science that they don't understand. I bet Jazz knows that. I bet he's bitten his lip a few times and gone...
Like,
And-
I'm not even going to get in this conversation because obviously y'all are too uneducated to understand the answer.
Snowmen are
And that's the
coming.
way
Get
I
a
feel
Crimson
when
Cube,
they start
Gold
going
Spear,
on
and
politics. I'm like,
velocity.
do you even know how districts work?
Yeah.
And yeah, so, but in any event, so, and then everybody, of course, has the best
Snowmen are
gunish
coming
and the
down
best
all
loadout
four
and the best
lanes.
ship and the best. And the one thing I've noticed about people's advice is it changes weekly. The best ship changes weekly. The best gun changes weekly.
Snowmen are coming down
Which
all 4
just generally means it's not good advice. Do whatever's best for you and ask your friends, the ones that are around you that seem to be doing well, what they do, and then base it off of what they're thinking or doing.
And feel free to try your
Mhm.
own mixture.
There's nothing in this game you have to buy with money, so you can try it.
I guess there's a few of the ships.
That's
But
true.
you
Snowmen are
could,
coming down
but
all
through a
four lanes.
through a grinding, extensive grinding, you could get just about any ship in its fleet version.
hmm And even the ships that are in the
Snowmen
only
are coming
pay
down
barrier
Crimson
would be the
Cube,
Lobby
Gold Sphere,
store.
and Blue Lozenge
And even that
lanes.
you can get around by using dilithium. But it still comes down to even the best ship out there, quote unquote, it's only as good as the pilot. There is
Snowmen
no
are
ship
coming
that's
down
just
Crimson
gonna
Cube and Blue Lozenge
save you.
lanes.
Because it's not the ship, it's the captain.
Yeah, it's the captain, it's bridge officer. I mean, all the stuff they put on their ship.
Hmm.
And they got to make good choices. And
I
I'm
would-
going to turn into a snowman while we wait.
And, yeah, my advice is just play it as if you're a captain, as if it's your ship, and run your ship like you would
Snowmen
want to
are
run your
coming
ship,
down Crimson Cube, Gold
Yep.
Sphere, and Blue Lozenge
and you'll
lanes.
probably do pretty damn fine.
Oh, the
Snowmen are
ice tower
coming
even
down
gives
Gold
a
Sphere
recovery
and Blue
shield.
Lozenge lanes.
Yes, that I did know. That's why
I
I
did
always
not know that.
hunker next to them. And they do pretty good damage on their outgoing attack.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube and Gold
That's the
Sphere
caramel
lanes.
gun firing, by the way. You can't miss it. It's very pew 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 pew-y.
Can't get a shot.
I think the thing that I don't like about the caramel gun is not only how it looks, because it kind of looks silly, but the sound it makes is too Star Trek. It sounds like a blaster or disruptor, or,
Snowmen are
you know,
coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
where our
Yeah.
guns sound like a bubble gun,
Yeah.
and occasionally you'll hear a little zip tang, you know, like out of a cartoon. That thing sounds like something you'd normally hear.
Snowmen are coming
disruptor
down
of
Crimson
some
Cube,
form,
Gold Sphere,
or-
and
yeah.
Blue Lozenge lanes.
It's too pew pew pew-y.
That dude over there is using the sniper rifle.
Snowmen are coming down Gold Sphere and Blue Lozenge lanes.
By the way, when my gun glitches and you see it do that double shot, it doesn't actually do a double shot. It's just a visual glitch more than anything. It looks like everything's running. Let's check everything and make sure everything's running. And we're good. We got ourselves 4 viewers. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
How's it going?
I got my 2 favorite viewers, 2-Bit Video Games and Dinks. Dinks is always there watching. 2-Bit's been watching for a long time. And it doesn't show me the other 2 viewers because Twitch is...
Nurma.
Yeah, Twitch is twitchy.
Twitch likes to twitch.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I think my OBS is weird, so I think I may switch over to Fraps this week.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube
See if I have
and
any
Gold
better
Sphere
luck.
lanes.
Wow. Alright.
Your
So,
gun disappeared.
that happens. When that happens, if you have that visual glitch, just switch gun. Or holster it and pull it out, and it'll come back. That's one of those, you know, horrible bugs. So
Snowmen
game
are
breaking,
coming
oh
down
my
Crimson
god.
Cube, Gold Sphere, and
Oh my
Blue Lozenge
god.
Full
lanes.
gun.
My immersion's completely ruined. I'm uninstalling.
Actually got a nice solid hold going on here.
Oh hey, we got flankers.
Uh-oh.
Snowmen
I'll
are coming
guard
down
this
Gold
flank
Sphere
if you
and
want to
Blue
stay up on
Lozenge
that bridge.
lanes.
Okay.
I'll just dedicate myself to being right here.
Snowmen are coming down Black Diamond, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
Looks like there's
So-
some flankers elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Doing okay with them?
Yeah, I'm okay with these guys.
The
Turrets
tower's
helped me
down
out.
if you want to
Yeah,
get
I got
up.
it. I got it.
Okay.
I got him. Wait a minute. We've got issues over at the far lane.
Oh, really?
Wait a sec. Let's find out what's going on here.
Oh, check behind you.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
What's the overall situation? Yeah. This
None of
lane
us
that I'm
escaped
at's
this,
kind of
right?
in danger.
Ugh.
Snowmen are coming down all 4 lanes.
Now it's really in danger. I need you back up over here.
Okay. I'm heading to you. As long as I don't have to strike a pose.
I'll be doing that soon.
Snowmen are coming down all
How are these
4
guys still alive?
lanes.
Didn't I hit you with bomb? Should have used the double bomb. Alright. Aww. Yeah, there's a ton of them over here.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm just posing, hanging out.
Oh, okay, good, good.
These guys are like immune to shit.
Snowmen are coming down all 4
Ah.
lanes.
I'm striking a pose now.
Nice, nice. Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down. And everything's dead.
Snowmen
Yes.
are coming down Black Diamond, Crimson
That's the best part of
Cube,
my
and
gun.
Blue Lozenge lanes.
By the time it shoots, everything's usually dead. See, you don't have to do a whole
Yeah.
lot.
I mean, that gun is nice. It does some insane quantities of damage. It's just that only that little bit of
Snowmen are coming
trying
down
to
Black
pop it
Diamond,
off.
Crimson
I'm gonna
Cube,
try
and
and
Blue
take this
Lozenge
lane
lanes.
back.
We lost a wall here.
Oh, pose it up. Posing.
It's a really good
Posing.
run, though. We're up to wave 9 and none have gotten through.
Nice. I'm gonna fall back to where you are. I think being up here is not a good idea.
This is the
Let's see
winter
if we
of
can-
your discontent.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube and Gold Sphere lanes.
Oh, this guy's making a beeline.
You got him?
Yeah, so far we're doing good.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube and Gold Sphere
Wow.
lanes.
Up, tower's down. I'm gonna try and fix
Got
it.
it, I got
Snowmen
it.
are
All right,
coming
roger.
down Blue Lozenge lane.
Nice. Wave 10.
Wow.
No escapees. Knocking on wood.
Where's the queen?
I have a genuine wood desk. I think we're just waiting. There she is. Sweet.
Got her.
All lanes clear. Defend the fortress.
Wow, all lanes clear. I've never heard him say that.
Yeah.
You just got tagged with the biggest snowball I've ever seen.
Nothing but a thing.
No, but
Yeah, see, again, resolve mission tight ice, but I don't see any visible reward anywhere.
yeah, I don't either.
But I got earmuff, 3 candles, because I've been dumping my stuff in the bank. So earmuff, 3 candles, an ornament, and an incense.
Oh, nice.
So it is giving me a reward. Not as
You
much
do
as I was
get
thinking.
rewards per phase, but the general
That too.
overall completion reward, I don't see it.
Yeah, Maybe it's incremental to avoid AFKers.
Ah, perhaps. I
As
can
in,
see
so
that.
like people don't just show up at the last minute and get the end game reward. Alright, let's see now. Where are we at? What's up next? Competitive race.
Unfortunately, I do have to hit the sack.
Is it time for you to do that rolling thing?
Yeah, rolling
Sweet.
bed. So it was fun, and I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Indeed,
At
indeed.
least from my part, I'm sure you're gonna keep it up and going.
Yeah, I'll keep going here for a little while. I figure why not? I'm going to be in the game anyway, so I might as well go ahead and share it with the world.
Heck yeah,
Because it is fun. And it is kind of,
it's very enjoyable.
it's a nice break from the usual. And actually, if I keep going tonight, I will probably do a couple of usual runs to show some general gameplay. But,
Yeah,
yeah,
I need to do some of that soon.
so it was definitely good having you come by.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Indeed, indeed, anytime.
Heck yeah. Well, I will catch you all next time.
Alright, sounds good. Have a good night.
Hey, later.
Alright, so let's see, where are we at? Who's still there? Sound off in the chat. I know it's getting late for 2-bit. I know it's definitely getting late for just about everybody. It's late for me. But yeah, I might do just a little bit more farming because I need a few items. So I might run a race, might go take on some more snowmen, and I might just hop into a normal battle because I do have gear and I do have to get some stuff that I'd still like to have because I'm buying some items for my ship. And I've been saving up for this for a while, and I'd like to wrap it up and get my damn item on my ship. I fly an assault cruiser. It's a very nice ship. That's it. Well, that's not really a good view of it, but yeah. Anyway, it's not any, super top of the line gold tier 6 badass thing, but it works for my purposes. It's a team support. Team support build. And yeah, it is kind of late. I don't know if I want to keep playing or if I just want to not, or what I want to do. I'm just lazy. What can I say? Well, only a couple of competition here. So that means hopefully I won't get any worse than 3rd place. One would hope. So, yeah. But that was Jazz, former fleet leader and partner. We played together for a long time, and we got together, put together a PvP fleet, specializing in ground stuff, particularly. We moved into space later, but since everybody else was doing space and we actually liked the ground more than space, we decided that would be our focus. We did very well. Very, very, very well, actually. And, yeah. But, time erodes all things. And so eventually, due to life changes and whatnot, we kind of had to give it up. But we've been able to come back to the game a little bit, and that's the key part, is being able to come back, have a little fun, and, most of what we learned and practiced from the old PvP days still applies to the game, so we generally can hold our own. Hold our own in the queues, and hold our own in the events and all that stuff, so I just lost a lot of time on that roll. I shouldn't have done that. But in any event, so yeah, we've kind of tossed around the idea of maybe doing it again, bringing up a PvP fleet. But it is a lot of time and it is a lot of effort and work. So it's one of those things that you got to decide if you're going to do it or not. And yeah, so we're tossing it around. Maybe next year. If the game's still around, if it's still thriving, because you never can tell. Video games, you know, they come and go. This one's been running for years. It's a lot of fun. I'm certain they're making money, but you know how it is. Even companies that are doing well and making money seem to just, you know, fold from bad business practice, etc. But so far, this game's being fun. It's adding new content. It's got a lot of stuff. It's free. I mean, free. I've put some money into it because I enjoy it and I want to support it, and I'm going to put some more money into it and time. But yeah, I like a game that allows you to try it out, and I also like a game that allows you to. There's nothing in the game that is really behind the paywall. The closest would be what's called lobby items, and you can get those through playing the game because you can trade game currency for the equivalent of real currency, and yeah, you're okay. It's a long, convoluted process. Maybe someday I'll show how to play the dilithium and Zen market. But yeah, so that's the basics.
Genius.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Competitive race. I could go run another one of those and get even more tags. I got 39 tags right now, which I think is a lot. I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe I need 5 tags per EPO, so I wouldn't really have anything to lose by running the race again. But yeah, that's a lot of tags. Yeah, let's go do it. That's not the way. This is the way. That's Q, by the way, this big guy here floating. That's our host. Got my campfire following me around here. So, I've just been, you know, running around doing my thing. Getting the points, because I do want a lot of stuff. And I'm kind of a buy it all at once kind of guy, so I'm just saving and saving and saving, and then I'm going to go buy it all at once. But this guy, he's got a couple of things that I want to test. So again, I might go into a normal queue, I might go into a space and a ground, I'm not sure. It depends, it's getting kind of late. I might just run this race and give it up. Go read a book. But I don't know, we'll find out. And that's an interesting little beast. We'll make it snow more. Can't remember what this does for us. Ah, knock back cold. Oh, cold resistance. I should be using this thing before every battle. I think I also have another cold resistant tribble that I can call upon. Excuse me. A little frog in the throat. Take a drink. We still got another minute before it begins, so right now it's just going to queue us up. Maybe? Okay. Well, we got another minute to wait anyway. A little timer up here. Ta-da! Then we got Snowball Fight, which that usually goes pretty quick. And then we go into the queued event. Yeah. So let's see, I've got 30 seconds. I can check everything here. Biggs. Smiley, your question, Biggs. Biggs was pretty damn good, but he preferred cloaking, and he was also a very big troll. So he would pick on a lot of people ruthlessly. But he was good. He had skills. I mean, I definitely can't chide his skills or say that he didn't have them. He'd beat me in a one-on-one if I ever fought him. And he was a very good cloaker. He was very, very, very good at hitting, either individuals or teams in their weakest point. Very good cloaker. I always gave him proper respect. But there was others too that were, they were up there too. There was Metis. Metis was really good. He preferred to play science officers, where Bigglesworth was a tactical, which is a DPS output. Metis would play science a lot, so he had a couple of science officers that were pretty good. Not saying that he couldn't play the others, but he was a damn good science officer. Now these guys come up because Biggles was very antisocial. He did not play well with others, and he preferred to work on his own most of the time. I almost wore him down to where he joined FES almost, but he was expecting an officerhood without really even knowing how the fleet worked, and not really knowing what officer meant. Officer in FES didn't mean authority. Officer in FES more or less meant that you had gone through proper training, and he believed that he didn't need that training because he was a skilled player, which he was, but he didn't know teamwork because he had worked alone so often. He was, a lone wolf, independent operative. And I insisted that he go through the training like everybody else, and he didn't really care for that. But again, he was damn good. Metis just did his own thing. He was friendly to those who deserved respect, and unfriendly to those that weren't. And he definitely had his share of talking a little smack here and there. And I just lost all the flags. That's alright. I have enough EPO tags at this point. I don't need to be hogging flags. Oh, you only get 3 though if you take last place. So you'd have to do 2 races to begin EPO research. Anyway, so Metis. He was fine. He's a nice enough guy. I can't personally remember ever really having any bad interactions, other than he, like Biggles and like most of the other PvP fleets, more or less bitched at us because they just hated the fact that we were really good at what we did, and anything that we did do as a team they considered an exploit, because as a team we can stack things, or as a team we can do some of this plus some of that. And that really irritated the single players, because they much preferred broken teams, which consist of 5 people all doing their own thing. The only team is that they all have the same name over their head. They're not actually a team, you know what I mean? They're just people that have the same t-shirt on, but they're all running around doing their own thing. We weren't like that. We were very strongly team oriented, where the team, everybody had their role. And as a result, we could do things that just were pretty off the charts. So a lot of people got very angry. Festus Sisters, they had their time. Our first class, as in the first people we taught and sent into the queues, whooped them just bad. Whooped them so bad they stopped doing PvP. That's why they disappeared for a long time. They disappeared because half of it was they were getting beat up real bad by FES. The other was internal drama. I think their fleet leader had other things that he had to attend to in life, and therefore wasn't able to lead the fleet as well as you. When you lead a PvP fleet, you have to put a lot of attention into it. And you have to train the people, and you have to filter them through a filter. You have to figure out who's good and who's bad. Fist Sisters actually, back when I was with Nova Squadron, they were number 1, and I fought against them many times, and Nova Squadron got their asses handed to them pretty much every time. all said and done, Tammy was a bit of a troll, and quite a few of the sisters were kind of trollish, but their trolling came with skill. They were arrogant. It's not that they were trolling you just to be jerks. It's just they were really good at what they did, and they knew it. I never actually had bad interactions with any of the sisters. We had our arguments, of course, because, you know, they were the best PvP team, we were the best PvP team. So there was always that, I guess you could say, animosity. I never took it as, you know, like a serious, like, enemy animosity. I just saw them as competition, which it was really hard to find competition in the queues, particularly for teams. You know, because a 5-man group of people doing their own thing will just get wiped by a team every time. That was the sisters' big, strong point, was they were able to stay organized, walk into the queue, and just eat disorganized teams for breakfast, one right after the other. They were good at it, too. They had some pretty neat little tricks. Back in the old days, they had a stasis field trick that was definitely cheesy and definitely just mean, but hey, I would have done the same thing because it worked. And yeah, they had a special little way of using stasis field, and I won't give away their tactics, but it's still a viable tactic, and hopefully, you know, some other people have picked up on it. And Biggs, yeah, I hear he's still in the game. He still does his thing. And last time I talked to him, he was a little flustered with it. And I think it's just because, you know, he's been playing the game forever. I mean, I've known him forever. He's been here as long as I have. And I think primarily all he does is PvP. And then he just grinds to get the best gear so that he can go back into PvP. And I'll tell you, when you PvP day in and day out, it gets pretty boring. I change it up. I play a lot of missions. I do a lot of PvE stuff. Especially these days. That's my main focus, is PvE. But if we decide, me and Jazz decide to resurrect FES, it'll be an entirely different project. We wouldn't be centering on just a PvP fleet. We would be centering on rebuilding the PvP community, because there is no PvP community. And the way that you can tell that is Otha is empty. Nobody's on Otha. There, of course, is people, you know, out there fighting in the space battle zones, but space PvP is always happening. It's ground PvP. That's where you need to have the fun. Not saying there's anything wrong with space. I love space. But ground needs to be resurrected. They need to add more maps. You know, take advantage of some of these maps that they have laying around. The prison, Facility 4028, is that what it's called, from the Cardassian series? That would be a great PvP map. A Defiant bridge. If you have the actual Defiant layout for your ship, the tight corridors and hallways and rooms would be a great PvP map. They've got ice physics, you know, they could make a wide variety of PvP maps. They just need to revamp it completely. Like, I still think PvP is the same maps. Last time I checked, same stuff we've had since Season 1. Season 1. And there's always going to be a problem, and we just discussed this. And my main point is there's always going to be a problem with Star Trek Online PvP. Getting your ass kicked by Bigglesworth the cat never happened in the series. Did you ever see that happen to Captain Picard? Did he ever walk into an area and get vaporized in 2 seconds by some cat that was cloaked? No. The Star Trek experience is you're the captain and you and your crew face the unknown and win. In PvP, there's a clear-cut winner and there's a clear-cut loser, and that sometimes doesn't fit with the fantasy of the game. And you can take a primary example from go play Star Wars Online, the Old Republic, and look at how active that PvP is. Why? Because in Star Wars there's 2 fantasies. There's Sith and Jedi. smugglers and bad guys and good guys. So there's always been that, air of conflict as part of it, and you can relate with both sides. In Star Trek, they're typically taking on an alien enemy and winning. Every episode. Pretty much every episode you take on an alien enemy and win. There's a lot of snowmen over here. Let's go see if we can nuke them. There we go. So, getting your ass kicked doesn't really fit into the Star Trek fantasy. So I believe that they would need to come up with something more than just go on a map and slug it out. There needs to be something more to it. I'm not sure what, but there was always something kind of missing. Look at EVE Online. That's just one ongoing forever PvP match. I haven't played Elder Scrolls Online, so I don't know what the PvP is like in that one. But in most of the games that I've played, the PvP crowd is hopping. In this game, we could have a look. Let's see, is it here? No, PvP. No. Where are the PvP queues? I don't even remember anymore. That'll tell you. That'll tell you how long it's been. Nah, these are just the PvE queues. See, that'll tell you. I don't even remember how to PvP. There they are, PvP queues. We can see right now, nobody. There's a couple of people in a space mission. There's a couple of people in a space arena. Nothing. And that, I could leave that window open for the rest of the time that we play, and it'll be about the same. There's a couple of guys queued for the ground. See, there you go. Is that you, viewer? Is that you in there? But and as Jazz was saying earlier, you can't play this game and wait for a PvP queue, because if I were to go into just a normal queue right now, it'll pull me out of all of the queues. So you have to make a choice: stand around and wait for who knows how long. It depends on what hour of the day. Any PvPer knows this. Some hours you can get a good match, some hours you can't. I could go on about it all day long. But suffice it to say that if Jazz and I decided to come back and decided to start thinking about PvPing, we would want to change the community. We'd probably first right off the top form an alliance with any remaining PvP fleets that are out there. Not so much the space ones. I'd be more interested in any ground heavy ones. Yeah, you would have hated us, Smiley, in the ground queues when FES was going. And I'm certain by now all the people like Biggs and them have convinced themselves that we were either cheaters or not half as good as we said we were, and that would be absolutely untrue. I have screenshot after screenshot after screenshot that I could show you of overwhelming, crushing victories. It got to the point where we would literally go into the queue just carrying blast assaults, and we'd still win. We would go into the queue and just do silly stuff, and we would still win. And it was all not because any of us were not saying we weren't skilled personally, but it was the teamwork that made it win. And that's why nobody could counter us, because the few organized teams that were out there, Tip of the Spear, Vista Sisters, all those, they only had a few people. And oh yeah, definitely exploiters. We excuse me. Speaking of exploit, we found many exploits and we sent them to the developers, and many of the exploits we sent in got plugged up. The reason you can't change kits, because we sent in complaints. That's why there's a cooldown on kits now when you switch from kit to kit. There used to not be a cooldown. So you could literally have an engineer sit in the corner and stack equipment diagnostics like 10 times. Just have the team hold the line while he would just sit there and stack equipment diagnostics. And then, call in an 8,000 point damage orbital strike. There were all kinds of little exploits that we found, but we always reported them, and we always tried not to use them. Except for the orbital strike one. We couldn't resist that, just because it was so epic. And it had its, even though it did an enormous amount of damage, it took preparation. That was one member of your team who had to go and sit in a corner and just stack equipment diagnostics one after the other. And the way that we would do it is you hit equipment diagnostics, switch kit. Hit equipment diagnostics, switch kit. Hit equipment diagnostics, switch kit. And you could stack it to ludicrous levels. And, little things like that. But primarily the exploits, it wasn't really exploit Smiley. It was just a team who knew how to work together. We knew how to buff each other. You'll see these people hanging around on ESD talking about, my DPS is 10 billion, 1,000 million million. And you'll go into a queue with them and you'll see that they're just really not doing anything. Because their DPS, it's great. They're doing 100 billion trillion points of damage to one target. Alright, when we have 100 Vardoir to take on, that single target DPS is bullshit. And they never, you'll see all those guys out there, I do billion damage, and they drop their gold gear on the zone chat. You'll also notice those guys never count how much damage they do when their target is exploited or exposed. They never take into account even how to cause that kind of stuff. All they worry about is their personal critical hit damage and their personal critical hit chance, basing their entire game on critical hits and damage per second, and not paying attention to any of the debuffs, any of the side effects, any of the procs, any of that kind of stuff. People tell you Tetrion's the worst weapon in the game, and that right there, lie number one. What's one thing everybody in this game has? Shields. What do Tetrions hurt? Shields. Every other weapon, literally you kind of have to wait till you get the shields down before you can really start dealing the damage. Tetrions strip down shields. It's all part of teamwork. You get a couple of Tetrion boats and a couple of Disruptor boats, and then you have one tack doing the damage, and you've got a great team right there. And when it comes to buffs, Smiley, just look at your buffs, and that'll give you an idea of how the other ones work. Pretty much all of us have emergency power to shields. And don't think of emergency power to shields as like a heal. Think of it as a buff. It gives you a buff. So use it the second you get into combat, and then just keep, whether you need it or not, just keep cycling it. Emergency power to shields. Matter of fact, you should have 2. Emergency power to shields 1. You should have it on 2 separate stations. And just use it all the time, whether you need to recharge your shields or not. Why? Because it gives you a buff. Same with ground heals. You'll see a lot of selfish medics out there, but honestly, a medic who backs up a tactical officer, that's the way it was supposed to work. If you look at every one of the Star Trek series, and they actually work this into the game, is, see, I'm starting to babble about it. Tactical, science. Let's have a look at the shows. Kirk and Spock, best of friends, always together. That's tactical and science. In the next show, we have Deep Space Nine. We have Benjamin Sisko, a tactical. Now, he, of course, was surrounded by a bunch of people, but his number one confidant was Jedzia Dax. That was his teacher and confidant, a science officer. So we have tactical and science, and they're linked. If you look at the other shows, you'll notice that tac and science seem to be the link-up. And then engineering, where's Scotty in the old series? Oh, he's off messing with some machine off in engineering. Engineers are self-sufficient. They kind of operate apart from each other. But tac and science connected, that's there's half of your exploits that we got blamed for right there. We had tactical officers that wouldn't die because they weren't squishy, because we would buff them with heals. Not just healing them, but buffing them. The second they go into combat, you just dump every heal on them. And they almost have a 50% damage resistance that slowly starts dwindling after that. An engineer can use emergency power to shields, the kit ability. You can send that to other people. So you can keep the tactical officer's shields recharged as well. So now you have an engineer and a science officer healing attack, and the attack's out there with his pulse wave. He can't be hurt because he's getting healed. His shields are getting buffed by the engineer. And now you all of a sudden have iron tack. That's how we quote-unquote exploit it. We actually used the game and the teamwork that is made available in the game that nobody ever pays attention to. Because as we say in Arma, you can't see much if you won't look past your gun sight. Which means if all you're doing is looking down your own gun barrel and worried about where your gun barrel is, you're not going to see what's happening around you. You're not going to see the larger picture. You're not going to see that you're part of a team. And my final bitch is, and the devs aren't helping because they make the game so damn easy that you don't need a team to get through anything. You used to need a team to get through the crystal entity. Doing the crystal entity used to be something that most fleets couldn't pull off. As in fleets. Whole fleets couldn't organize themselves enough to pull off the entity because it was ruthless. It was a horrible monster. It was a thing that there was one group, a guy that I knew named LaForge, would go around and he had a group called Raid Armada, something like that. And he specifically put people together for the big raids, like the No Winnable Scenario, the Gorn Minefield, that kind of stuff. And they specialized in the entity. And it literally took that level of organization just to take down the crystal entity. But they nerfed it. So now you don't even need to be there. You can go AFK and smoke a cigarette. I've done this. And come back and you win. And I know that's a terrible thing to do, and I don't often do it. But the fact that you can do it is cheesy. It shouldn't be that easy. So I'm all for them bringing back the old STFs. Smiley, you just got into it last year. The old STFs, the Borg ones, used to be pretty much so hard that fleets couldn't get through them. It took a lot of organization and a lot of teamwork to get through them. And I do miss those days. They should have, some that take teamwork, some that don't. And encourage people to sometimes work together and learn some of these team buffs that are available. And that's more or less all that we taught in FES, was how to use your buffs not just for yourself, but for others. And how to use them wisely for others. And that's my 80-minute dissertation on Star Trek. I personally love the game, and I think it's going to have a lot of potential when they have a television series coming out and a movie in real soon. So as long as Perfect World can keep, doing what they've been doing, because honestly, I saw the old development crew, the actual Cryptic, before it got bought out by Perfect World, and awful. Nothing changed. There was just seasons where with nothing, literally nothing. And then eventually, when we finally did get something, it was Mako and Omega. Mako and Omega. That's it. Everybody in the game had Mako or Omega. Or Borg set, because that's really all there was. Borg set, Mako, and Omega. And then Perfect World came along, and now we have all this stuff, all this stuff. So I hope that they keep the copyrights. I hope they keep the licenses, and I hope that they understand that when the television show starts, and the movie comes out, this game's gonna explode. So I hope they're ready with their servers, so they can take the load and keep adding cool, neat stuff that we all can use and love. That's all I got. That's all I got. And any viewer, feel free to friend me in the game. You see my name. It's right there, Emergency Operations Hologram. I also play Emergency Medical Hologram. And my other main tune is named Mr. Black. You can't miss me. I look like a hologram from the Matrix. And I'm around a lot. I float around a lot. You'll see me in queues, you'll see me in social areas. I don't typically zone chat. I don't talk with the Ninyons in zone chat. I'm more of a one-on-one kind of person. I don't presume to know everything about the game, but I know some tricks. I do know a couple of tricks. I've learned some new tricks with this new gear. Some of these new kit modules and stuff that are out. I've come up with some good ideas. I got some dirty tricks. And now that I've got these new cryo modules, the ones that are available from this year and last year, yeah, I'm going to be a pretty happy guy. I'm really just messing around this run. I'm really not doing a whole lot. I'm just trying to kill a couple of guys. I thought about working at it, but then it occurred to me, meh. We've done it, I think, 3 times during this run, so we'll just kind of take a back seat this one. Let the other people have some fun, shoot some snowmen. And I do appreciate that about the game, that there are things, like this, where you don't have to have like a super team or super concentration. I just wish that they would mix it up to where there are various degrees. And I also wish that they would make a PvP reputation set. Yeah, where you could only get reputation points from PvPing. And make the ground PvP worth 20% more than the space, so it encourages people to do the space or the ground queue. And that'd be the quickest way to get people into PvP. You throw in 2 or 3 more maps. You make a couple more larger battle ones, like Shantytown. And you make a set, a costume, and a gear set that can only be gotten through PvP. Doesn't need to be super powered, it doesn't need to be super crazy strong, just a set and a costume, and that would get people flocking into PvP in no time, immediately. Just because of the costume. Even people that, I never PvP, they'd be doing it for a costume. I know some people who would do anything for a
The
costume.
Snow Overlord is attacking!
If they said Satan's offering a new scarf this year, price 1 soul, they'd alright, I'm in. Give me the scarf.
Whoa! Did you see that?
And we'll deliver I think I had 1 piece of syrup and that was it. Yep, that's it. And I'm still not sure I'm getting my reward from, I think I've been messing up the Tides of Ice. I think I've been screwing it up. And I haven't been getting the end reward because I've been screwing it up. I'm going to test that. And see, I kind of really have nothing really better to do tomorrow, so I may end up just playing this kind of late. Because I have insomnia anyway. I have nothing better to do. That thing is interesting.
Oh no! The Snow Overlord has frozen one of our buildings!
So I've noticed in this winter thing, you gotta kill the minions, not the Snow Overlord, because the minions keep the Snowconian busy. And the less busy the Snowconian is, the more he'll attack the Overlord.
By my buttons, we've lost another building.
I shouldn't have fired that shot right then. I should have waited, because that is going to happen. The turret. I'm locked onto the turret. Oh, striking the pose. Good time to check the chat. Like I said, I'm not horribly focused on this one. I'm just reading the chat here. Regarding members of FES, no, I don't think there's any FES members left. As in, there are a few hanging
Please
around
stop the snow overlord before
that show
he
up here
freezes
and there.
another building.
But as a core fleet, FES is, for all intents and purposes at this point, non-existent. And if I ever started it up again, it would be run much different than it was before. That's a long story, but in any event, yeah. So, as for new tricks, well, I don't know if I should be sharing my tricks. Then they wouldn't be tricks anymore. But no, since I don't PvP right now, I can show a couple of tricks, just some basics that I've picked up that, if nothing else, they'll help you in the queues. Like the PvE queues. But a lot of it starts with determining what you want to be. You just figure out what you want to be to start with, and then from there, go from there. Like in space, I'm a debuffer. I don't care about DPS. I don't care about, personal protection. I don't care about healing. I only care about debuffing as many enemies as I possibly can so that everybody on the team does better. Because the more enemies I can debuff, the better everybody on the team is going to do. So with that in mind, I built this guy's particular ship. My other guy, my science officer, his main thing is anchor and slow. Anything that'll anchor or slow enemies, he's into. That's what he does in space.
Give it more syrup to help it heal.
On the ground, really?
The Overlord can't be reasoned
Alright,
with.
I guess we need
He's
to
frozen
work.
another building.
Hold on, we gotta work. Get a little bit of syrup here and try and get the health up on the Snowconian. I've never actually seen the Snowconian get that low in health.
Woe is
I guess
me.
everybody else is being
Another
lazy
building
too.
lost to the
Damn.
Overlord.
I hate it when everybody's lazy. This guy will actually get the ice, by the way. You can get multiple people as long as they all kind of start at the same time. On the melt, it'll give everybody the syrup. Oh,
Another
really?
building frozen. Revenge, it seems, is a dish best served cold.
Yeah, this guy's whooping our ass this time. I've never actually seen this Snow Overlord be this successful. Okay, these guys standing around. Oh
Another
boy.
frozen building? Oh, we're running out of buildings here.
Come on, let's get the syrup in there. Get the syrup in there.
That did it. The Snowconian is back in the fight.
Yay! Now, get rid of all these minions. Okay. Beat him up, Snowconian. Come on now.
You can freeze all of our buildings, Overlord. Sadly, you can't take our freedom on ice.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard half of these lines because I've never seen the Overlord be so successful. Oh, we failed it! I've never seen this fail. That's the first time. We failed it. I didn't even know that was possible. I honestly didn't think that mission could actually be failed. Huh. Puh. I almost want to message Jazz and wake him up. Be like, bro, failed it. Oh, wow. Wow. Alright, on that note, I'm going to take just a minute, have a chat, gather me brain, and I'll keep playing for a little while longer, why not? But, and then, yeah, I'll throw out a little bit more information about the way it was, Smiley, if you're still there and still hanging out. But, yeah, give me a minute or two, and we will continue the show. I figure I might as well keep going now, because the European crowd's going to start signing on, so might as well stay on. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So stay tuned. This is Permadeath. I'll be right back.
Assimilated snowmen are approaching the gate to the Winter Wonderland. They will arrive in 1 minute.
This is Permadeath, and I'm back mostly enough to where I can take a look at the chat here. Smiley, let's see here. Let's take a look at some of these. Sorry. Weren't around for FES. That was basically the last one that I was commenting on. Videos of us being exploiters. Yes, we were hated. It comes with being successful. I hate to be a dick, but that is the truth. We were good, and we never exploited, and we never cheated. We just, when we did find an exploit, we would use it to piss everybody off so that they would run to the forum, and then we would stop using it. And then actually, half the people that complained at us, we would see them using the exploit the next day. So, hypocrites, all of them. One and all, even us. In any event, so how many core members did we have? Well, that's interesting. We had... FES was more of a school than it was a fleet. In other words, we wanted to share our information to help people to get through STFs, to help people, you know, I can show you a way to get through Kittimer in 5 minutes. That was our fastest run time, was 5 minutes through Kittimer Elite, or Advanced, or whatever the highest setting is for Kittimer. We can two-man infected on the ground with 2 people. Yes, we can activate 3 consoles with 2 people, because we know a trick. We know exactly how Rebecca's Lightning works. Everybody thinks they know how Rebecca's Lightning works. Do you know how Rebecca's Lightning works? Because you might be right. People may have figured it out by now, but most people have the wrong impression. And just knowing how her lightning works can make the final room in Infected so much easier. So much easier. It already is kind of easy, but on the more advanced settings it can be kind of difficult. It does chain, but here it is. You ready? Okay. You're a tactical officer, so you know what fire on my mark is. She does that. She hits you with a series of white rings. You'll see them. They'll come around either you or another character, and it's a big white ring. Alright? And that's her form of fire at will. That means that you're going to get hit. She's going to shoot you with her gun. When that gun hits you, it's going to chain after that. It's basically like the earliest version of refracting Tetrion. And the problem is it does more damage down the chain. So if you're the one that actually gets hit, you don't take any damage. The rest of your team gets destroyed. So that's how it works. If you see somebody with white rings around them, either get as far away from them as you can, or if it's you, go under hard cover. In other words, go someplace where you can't be shot, and she won't be able to shoot you. And that basically that fire on my mark that's on you, the white rings, will linger, and she won't be able to use it again for a little while. So that's the secret of the Rebecca Lightning. And it's best if you don't rush the rooms, if you bring the board to you and then go in. After you've cleared out about half of them, that's the best way to beat the timers and rescue the guys. And jumping with randoms? Oh boy. Wow, I could tell some stories. Yeah. Wow. I've been there many times. All me and Jazz used to do in the old days when the STFs were extremely difficult is we would sit, and by extremely difficult they were ground, space, ground, like mixed, and they could take like 3 hours, 4 hours to get through them. And a lot of actual groups couldn't do it. So Gamma Sector used to just be filled with people spamming, please help me get the Borg engine, please, I need the Borg deflector, I need the Borg, I want the this. And all me and Jazz would do is hang out almost like 24/7 and just help people through STFs. We would gather teams and go, if you want to get through, join with us, we'll take you through. And we would guide, help. If we failed a run, we would take them out, tell them why we failed, help re-gear them, and that was when we got encouraged by an old friend of ours, Hades, to start a fleet. and we ran FES more as a school than anything else. At our peak, we had about 20 core PvPers. All said and done, we had like probably about 10 quote-unquote legendary people that were really damn good at it. Jazz, the guy that was on earlier, he's damn good at PvP. Damn good at it. And that's always been his thing. He loves it. You know, he does it in pretty much every game that he can. I'm half and half. I do PvE and I do PvP. I play Arma, you know, I've done my shooting. Done it in this game as well. Played some Eve. Tierra Omega. Tierra Omega, I know that name. What tune names do they have? And always remember, like people like Bigglesworth and Metis and stuff, they usually have about 4 accounts because they get banned a lot. So so they usually have alternate accounts in case they get banned. Major Tierra Omega. Yeah, I've seen that person. Can't remember if it was positive or negative interactions I've had with him. I'd have talked to him for a while. Oh, but anyway, and then FES had a bunch of periphery members, or people that didn't really PvP, but liked that we also did a lot of PvE stuff, you know, like the STF runs and all that. So, I don't know, at our height, maybe we had 100 people, give or take. But all said and done, about 20 active. Usually about 10 PvPers and then 10 casuals. And we affiliated with a lot of fleets because we would invite them to send a member over, join FES for a while, we would train them, and then we'd send them back to their fleet to share the knowledge. Anyway, eating some pies. So yeah, I used to play way too much of this game. Still do. I still probably play way too much of this game. But you know what? It's a damn fine game and I like Star Trek, so everybody can F off. And it's my MMO, you know, it's pretty much the only one that I'm playing right now. Because all the others just, meh. Eve is cool, but it's a huge commitment to make any like real progress in Eve. You really have to commit to it, and choose your affiliations carefully. Elder Scrolls is a train wreck, and I'm not much into fantasy anyway. World of Warcraft, never really got into it. Not my thing. I played the single player Warcraft games, they were cool. Lone Star looks just terrible. Cheesy. Horrible. Firefall is pretty cool. For a shooting game. It's actually kind of neat. And it's free. But I never really got into it either. Age of Wushu, which is a kung fu, you know, like a kung fu movie simulator, MMO. I didn't really like it. Didn't get into it. I avoid MOBAs like the plague because they tend to be easy and they tend to attract kind of a jerky crowd. Usually, a lot of them do. Yeah, I can only guess how many tunes Biggs has now. I can only imagine. All said and done, I would call Biggs a friend, as in we talk. We sometimes don't see eye to eye, but we have talked, and a lot of our conversations have been pretty rational. We've bitched and yelled and griped at each other, but yeah, generally, I think he and I see the same thing in the fact that PvP could use a lot of help. It really could. And honestly, I bet he misses us because we gave him a challenge. We gave him something to get better for. We gave him something to be angry at. We gave him something to cheer for, like when he did get his victories, or when he shot one of our key members and killed him. That gave him victories and happiness, because that's the whole point of PvP. So if he doesn't miss FES, then he's an idiot. And he never struck me as an idiot. Aggressive and mean, yes, but unintelligent or idiotic? No, no, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, he can be mean. If you can take his abuse, he's all right. He's okay. He's just a big kitty. Don't rub his belly and he won't scratch you. I guess that's one way of looking at it. Give me one moment here. What's your name in game, Smiley? If you don't mind divulging such information. And you have to admit, Biggs is hilarious. Some of the best times I've had was just when he didn't fight, and he'd just sit cloaked and troll on days that he's just mad and just wants to troll. He'd sit cloaked sometimes and just troll the zone. And some of the things he'd sometimes say, oh my god, just cracking me up. I honestly think half of it's an act. I don't think he's that mean. So, okay, a new trick, huh? Alright, here it is. Ready? The Romulan shield and armor and kit that you can get from the missions. It's a great start because when you have this on, first off, the shield's equal to just about any shield, but it also has the reduce all energy damage by 20%, which makes it a little better than a Mako, which gives you 10%. The armor is okay, as in it's armor, and not the worst armor out there. But here's the special part, is this kit here. You'll notice at the top there, 20% plasma damage. So every plasma weapon you use is going to do 20% more damage right off the bat. Now you couple that with this little unimpressive plasma repeater pistol that also comes from the mission, and you'll notice that this thing does 130 DPS on its secondary. Its secondary fires several times per second, actually. So I've actually gotten critical exploits with this pistol that have done in excess of 500 DPS. So this pistol with the Romulan set is incredibly effective, especially if you have people who know how to cause exploits, science officers that know how to get the exploits going. This set is just brutal. And then you pick up the kit module. You'll notice here on my kit module that I have, if you go down a little bit, plasma feedback cascade. That is Rebecca's chain lightning. Basically you get hit from the enemy and it chains back. It's plasma damage, so you're getting that 20% bonus off of that as well. So, and the kit itself isn't so bad. You can juggle it around. You'll notice I'm using a lot of weird shit on that one. This is what I call it's my aggressive bunker. Basically just made to put damage out. I use it primarily in bug hunt. I have several kits, and they all depend on what I'm doing at the time. Some of the kits are specific to weaponry or gear. Like this one, this kit clearly always rides with these. And these are all my plasma guns in case I need them. And then down here I've got my Nukara set. Because I farm marks for dilithium, I know how to just destroy Nukara and take a lot of points from it very quickly. So I'll go down with my Nukara set, which is basically all the ice guns and the Nukara reputation set, and just destroy shit. And then I've got my bunker kit, or my shield tanking kit, which is specifically designed for getting into the enemy and absorbing as much damage from them as I can. And therefore it's the versatile kit from the Fleet Lab, because I wanted the vascular regenerator, because you can't always rely on the medic, as we probably have learned. Shield recharge, jam subspace because it lowers enemy damage by 42%, so that's in effect a buff. The tachyon stream allows me to steal shields from somebody else and give them to myself. That's an intelligence kit module. Seeker drone, of course, because more toys is more toys. And the minefield just for a little bit of damage output and to slow down, debuff, and knock down the enemy. Because you'll notice it's active immunity, so it lowers their run speed, which makes them easier to chase or track down or hit with a short-range weapon like a pulse wave. And I couple that almost exclusively with the Mako set because Mako gives you shield recharge. So I have the shield recharge capacitor, the emergency shield capacitor, plus shield recharge, plus the ability to steal their shields, plus the ability to lower their damage to basically 50% less, just round up, 42.9, 45%, almost 50. In any event, and that's my tanking kit, if you will. That one I also use primarily like during bug hunt, or anywhere I expect that I'm going to take a lot of incoming damage. Then I've got my BS kit, which is pretty much weird crap that I picked up from being an intelligence specialist. And it's okay. It actually works. I can kind of make it work. But yeah, this plasma set is out of control. And the funny thing is nobody uses it, which cracks me up because it is out of control. So there you go. What's going to happen soon? Wasn't Tides of Ice... Did I miss it? Did I babble through Tides of Ice? No way. Couldn't have happened. I must have misread it. Well, what's coming up next? Snowball fight's pretty quick. Competitive race. How many equal tags do I have? A lot. And you'll notice 99% of my stuff, it isn't gold at all. It's purple shit. A lot of fleet stuff mainly. The elite fleet guns are junk. Go with the advanced. The reason the elite fleet guns are junk are A, they're locked into phaser disruptor only, and B, the shield recharge and health regen is not worth it. It's just not worth it. You're better off shooting for better procs off of like plasma weapons or polaron weapons, depends on, Tetrion, depends on your taste. But I always go with the advanced weapons because they have different flavors, different procs. Procs are life, sometimes. In space, don't rely on procs from beams, they're bullshit. If you're going to go for procs, go for torpedoes, because they proc pretty much all the time. A lot of people think torpedoes are for damage. Nah, just use them for proc, fuck their damage. Their damage is insignificant when you take their rate of fire, plus the fact that shields pretty much block every point of damage they do. and that the bleed through is insignificant because most people can hull heal, just use them for the proc. Because if you can slow down a target with chronoton torpedoes, that's worth a hell of a lot more than a couple of extra 1,000 damage. Don't ever use quantums. Just basics like that. Use torpedoes for procs, and always try and fire spreads or high yields depending on what kind of torpedo it is and what you're wanting to do. Get our campfire going. Anybody got ice boots on? Am I going to be the only one with boots? That almost seems wrong. Maybe I won't use them. You can tell if their feet get frosty. And nobody has frosty feet that I can see. It's a terrible thing. Let's see, I think we've got officially a minute before it actually begins. Oh no. Woohoo! And for some reason I'm really slow on the gate there. But that's okay. People are trying the old roll technique. Oh, I'm just terrible on this run. I'm doing horrible. None of them even have boots and I'm losing. Oh well, what can you do? Win some, you lose some, you know? I think that guy just got disqualified, the girl with the candy cane lurpa, or batleth. That looked pretty on the border to me. That's alright, we'll get third. Maybe, unless I go sliding past the damn sign. Where's it gonna be? Grab the sign, fool. Grab sign, fool. And I guess I'll just get participation. that sign grab at the end, I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that. I'm just trying to think of the logic why they would do that. Like, what the point was.
Man can hear profit in the wind.
I can usually piece together like a train of thought and figure it out, but that one I don't know why they did it that way. I just don't know. Ah, yes, Smiley. Let me look you up. See if I remember how to look people up. That's the guy right there. Konos. Let's see. Now, how do we friend? I thought I could just right click it and do it. There we go. Bam! And it is done. Anyway, welcome to the show. I normally don't do Star Trek. I usually do other stuff. Gonna be starting, well, this month it's Black December, so typically I'm playing zombie games this month because everybody bought them for my birthday. So I figured since I got this influx of zombie-oriented games, I would take advantage of it. So this month I'll be playing, actually I'm going to break out an old one, going to do some Doom 3. And I was playing Project Zomboid, but it's being very crashy on my system and I don't know why. So I kind of had to put it aside. And I'm doing 7 Days to Die. And I don't know, something else I can't remember. Oh yeah, Survivalist, which is a little indie piece I picked up off of Steam. So, yeah. Just accumulating goods. I'm not quite sure what I want to buy yet. I think I'm going to bring in my science officer and get his kits. Or his kit modules. We might do that. But that would be later. So for now, I'm just making some marks. I might wrap up the stream here real soon, just because I got a couple other things I got to do. But I'll be on game for probably a while longer. Just gonna farm some marks, or farm some ornaments, marks, ornament marks. And yeah, feel free to contact me in game anytime. Torpedo and mine ship, that's a pretty good idea. I actually run a couple of those. And yeah, what is it? Spread pattern beta is your best friend, for sure. And plasma mines are awesome. Don't use spread patterns with Romulan mines. The Romulan tractor mine, you can get them from missions, they're free. And they work really well. Just don't use spread patterns with them because there's no point. One tractor beam works just as well as 9. So don't do that. And always remember, when you're running a torpedo boat, you could take advantage of this console, perhaps, depending on what you got going on. Let me look. Where is it? Is it on my ship? It might be. Let's have a look. See, it should be on my ship. Derp, derp, this one. You get this one, the Temporal Disentanglement Suite, plus 4 on aux power, plus 20% maximum shield capacity. That in itself right there is freaking huge, especially if you're an NG. But it also gives you a crit chance and crit severity based on your aux power level. So if you're running a mine boat, you don't need any power to your weapons. Don't run any beams, just run mines and torpedoes. And put all that extra power into your aux. And don't worry so much about putting power into your shields or your engines. I'll show you a trick. You ready? I'll show you another trick. Ready? We're going to go up space for a minute. And you'll get to see my atrocious power levels because I haven't really optimized anything yet. So you can only do this kind of testing in an active sector, as in you can't do it in space, you can't do it on ESD, you have to be in a sector where theoretically you could fight, I guess is the best way of putting it. An active instance is what we always called it. Space around ESD is an active instance. Space around Starbase K7 is active. So here's active, okay? Which means now my space skills are actually reflecting what they actually are. Alright? So if we look here under stats, we'll notice bonus defense is at 6%. Alright? Once you start moving, it'll start rising. Now, 80% is the top you can get. So I actually officially need to kind of tweak my engines a little bit. And you pull your engines just to where they just barely get to 80. Once you reach that 80% threshold, lock it in. Am I going to get my 80%? Why isn't it giving me my higher percent? Okay, looks like 78's the max for me. Maybe it changes by ship. I'll have to look into that. That's new stuff. But 78 looks like where it's topping out for me. So anything above that isn't going to help me any. So go into a sector area or an active space area, find out what your maximum is for your character, and make sure that you have tweaked the engines to that point. Like, that's the highest I'm going to get, so I would lock that in. Shield regeneration I don't really care about. So I usually drop this down just to where it doesn't actually take from my shields. Because if you go too low, it'll take from your total shield amount. Like 10,585 is what I'm going to get. Go a little lower. Now this affects my shield regeneration rate, but I don't care. The reason I don't care... Ooh, I actually hit a little spike there where it gave me a lot more. Well, not a lot more, but a few more. That was right in between, like where one of my traits is taken over or something. In any event, so find your minimum shield setting, lock that in, and then put everything else into Ox. And since you're running a mine boat, you don't need any power here. So any extra power, of course, you'd want to put into your shields to increase your shield regeneration rate. But your engines, you're only going to get that. You're going to have to figure out what your own base defense is, because it used to be 80%, but it looks like it depends on other factors, which I'll have to look up what factors are affecting me. And yeah, there's a quick one for you. How to distribute your power. And since you're thinking about running a mine boat, hey, let's see, now I need to remember how to get my presets back. This one, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so here's a quick one. It's one of those small changes where if you can put power to where it belongs, or where you need it most, that's huge. Very important for science officers and engineers, because you rely a lot on auxiliary power for most of your engineering abilities. Transfer shield strength, lend shield health, that kind of stuff is affected by your aux. If you don't have healing abilities that are based on your aux, you should get some, because then that way you can pump more power into your auxiliary and get a better effect. And just little things like that. On the ground, crouch, aim, crouch, aim, always crouch and aim. Yes, melee has a chance of doing a little bit more damage, but when you're crouching, you have a better dodge. So it just pays to crouch. You almost take half damage right off the bat from ranged attacks if you just crouch. Aiming is the same way. Q's having a little problem today. What up, Q? He's hiding. I'm hiding, he says. That's just the kind of thing Q would do, actually. So, alright. Hanging out with Q. He was doing this earlier, too. They need to fix Q, and they need to fix the eggs. Looks like everything's spawning in the ground this year. Take me to Wonderland. Oh, and since I said earlier my ship is a debuff ship, show you what I mean. I run biomolecular disruptors because when they proc, they either proc as a disruptor, which is minus damage resistance, or they proc as biomolecular, which is minus on their flight speed. And that slows them down. And the big thing was I immediately noticed that Vaudoir and Iconians, they're very fast, and a lot of people miss shots. I see beams fly off into deep space all the time. So I started on the idea of if I can slow the enemy down, the team will do better, we get through it quicker, everybody happy. So I started building this. I went with the biomolecular disruptors just because of the minus on flight speed. That's most of the reason. And the debuff that the disruptors cause. I run the torpedo launcher for the same reason. I run torpedoes for proc. These guys proc. And when they proc, they lower the flight speed. Now I picked this up out of the missions, the Resonant Disruptor. A, because it's a disruptor, so it goes with my set. And it has a chance of causing an actual splash damage, Resonant Disruption Wave, which causes physical damage and lowers their damage resistance. Shields and damage resistance to their hull. So it's another debuff. And so I'm running all of those. My back torpedo is the Resonant Transphasic. Notice minus 10 all damage resistance and increases damage to shields by 15%, so it's debuff. And I run the Breen set, the full Breen set, from the Winter Wonderland plus one of the Breen ships, so I have the shields, or from the missions, I have the shields, I've got the warp core, and I've got the other two parts. And I use that because it has Energy Siphon, which is a debuff, and it also helps me. And I also run it because it gives me cryoplasma, which is the same as eject warp core plasma. That's a debuff. It slows the enemy down, causes a little damage. In space, I also run theta radiation vents, so I have two kinds of gas, and I also have warp core plasma 3, so I can actually run all three, and you can actually stack them almost. If you're real careful on the cooldowns, you can actually hit an opponent with all three gases. So, again, that's for the debuff. I usually hit evasive and fly around in a random pattern through the battlefield and leave little pockets of gas that AIs and real people run into all the time. So again, just debuffing. I have an aceton assimilator, which I found. At first I didn't like it, but then I noticed AIs, particularly Borg, are suckers for this thing. They'll start pounding it with their fire at wills, or with, the Mirror Universe guys are suckers for it too. Because the second they hit fire at will, it starts hitting this thing with energy damage. And as soon as it takes energy damage, it starts pulsing out hull damage. And you'll also notice it debuffs -15 all power systems every second. So everything's about debuffing. That's what this thing does. I don't really give a crap about my personal damage. Yes, I have some damage boosting consoles, but it's more about, and actually I don't even know why I'm using these. I think because they're cheap and free. I didn't have to buy them, so there they are. I could get better, yes, from the fleet, and maybe one day I will. Or maybe I have another ship that I'm not showing, which, yes, I do. I have a couple. I like try and run a couple of ships on each tune. This is just for the resonance harmonics to make it better. And it gives me just, personal damage. It's basically a damage console. And this is about the same. Hydrodynamic. No, that's the multi-conduit. Again, it's just for my personal damage, and also it counts as part of a set. The biomolecular set, I really only run 2 parts. I really only want to because... Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. This thing. I only run the 2-part because this is what I want. The 7.5% to disruptor and energy damage, and a 2% increased chance of biomolecular weapons to apply their debuff, so it increases my proc chance, basically. I don't need this because I don't use turrets because I'm a cruiser. Stupid. And I would like to have this, but it's not worth running the turret, and I would have to run the turret in order to get the 4-part set. So I just said screw it, and I just run the 2-part for this. So the overall theme is just have a plan, and if you can, try and escape that play tac anti-proton. Bleh. You know what I'm doing with my tac? I'm getting the best of both worlds. I'm going to run a radiant build, because as I get procs on the radiant anti-protons, I'm going to heal myself, in addition to any smart teammate that's using hull heals and stuff on me, in addition to my personal heals. So I'll sacrifice a little bit of DPS in return for, theoretically, we'll see how this actually works out proc-wise, I'll have all kinds of basic hull resistance. I'll be able to stay alive longer, which that means more DPS. The longer I can stay alive, the more damage I'm going to do over time. Yeah, mainstream builds are shit, Smiley. I'll tell you that right now. All they're going to tell you, get anti-proton, make sure you got high critical, and not very hard to do, dude. It's just not. You can go to wiki and there's 10,000 builds, and then they have their pre-approved vampire builds and blah builds and blah builds. Don't do that. Do your own fucking build. You're Captain Smiley. You're not Captain Bigglesworth. You're not Captain Hologram. You're Captain Smiley. How you run your ship is how you run your ship. And I'm with you, Smiley. I don't use anti-proton. I use it on my tactical right now because I got the Undine anti-proton, the one nobody uses, the one that pushes the opponent, yellow obnoxious ones. Yeah, I use those. Why? Because nobody else does. I picked them up off the exchange for dirt cheap. And I'll tell you something from somebody who flies in Arma. If you can push your opponent away from you as you're strafing them, that adds to your DPS, because it allows you to do a longer strafing run because you push them away from you, so you get longer to shoot at them before you overfly the target. I wish I could do that in Arma. Push my enemy away as I'm going towards them. That'd be sweet. Have a look, Smiley. If you have a lot of criticals, if your crit chance is actually kind of high, look into the protonic polarons. Let me show you this. Let me see what you think here. Because I've been kind of tossing the math around in my head and I'm iffy. Excuse me. Usually I mute before I clear my throat, but I guess not that time. Hey, I'm stupid, so let me remember how to play this game. Alright, there we go, reputation. Dyson? Was it Dyson? Protonic polaron, yeah. Let's have a look at some protonic polaron beams. Okay. The usual damage, and then we see, you know, the usual power loss, and then we see 25% chance on critical of 467 proton damage. Okay, 200 versus other people. All right, so we'll take this in that context. It does 25% chance on critical. So 1 out of 4 critical hits are gonna do an extra 200 damage base. Not counting if you have any consoles, you know, your critical hit severity and all that crap. It's gonna do an extra 200. In addition to, now keep in mind, all this stuff, it's not going to stay up. All the stuff below the 2.5% chance minus 25 all current power, everything below that is a typo. It doesn't belong until you get to plus 10% accuracy. So in theory, these beams should be the most damaging aside from, you know, some kind of plasma build. Because your 1 out of 4 is hell a lot better than 2.5 out of 100, which is your standard proc. If you're getting 10% crit, you're probably 1 out of 10. So that's, yeah, I think those are probably the way to go. And you could probably get them free by just going and doing a little Dyson. Go Dyson ground, whoop some monkey ass on Dyson ground, and then try them out, see if it works. Yeah, the radiation proc, the Thoron infused, I used them on the ground for a while actually, and I just found them adequate. They're a gun. Nothing, yeah, And I noticed they're throwing this radiation proc out there a lot, and they need to start extrapolating on it. Like, you know, we do have an architecture that has all kinds of damage types. You can see it by looking at any environment suit. You know, look at any environment suit and you'll see we've got toxic, fire, cold, radiation. We have kinetic and physical. Those are two different things, by the way. Don't think kinetic and physical are the same thing. Keep them separate, because the more you keep them separate, the more you'll be less confused going, why the hell doesn't this thing I got that boosts kinetic damage help me? Because it probably does physical. So physical and kinetic are officially different damage types. We've also got, here's an interesting one. If you look at this thing, minus 110 proton resistance. They just recently started bringing proton into the game, but it's been in the game since the triolic pattern enhancer, which came from season 1. Yeah. And only now did proton resistance actually start being used. So they have all these different damage types in the game, and they should start using them rather than just going radiation. It should be, you know, they actually did it with the Christmas thing. There's cold damage that's caused by the stasis field. But I think by doing that, they could add a little bit more. And I think they should add some more damage types. which they touched on a little bit. You know, here, you want to see what pisses me off, Smiley? This person seems to like standing next to me. They came back. Oh, do I know this person? No. I knew a person named Tessa, but I don't think that's the same person. They haven't messaged me. And they're gone. Okay, so, let's step away from the beaming point. Anyway, awkward. Got people beaming into your personal space. What was I talking about? Damn it. Oh, what pisses me off. Okay, so this is what really irritates me, alright? This thing. It has a 2.5% chance of doing the resonant disruption wave. It has a 2 kilometer radius on target, which they could lower it to 1. And it has kind of its own proc. It does a damage resistance and a shield debuff. I can only have one of these. I can't make a set of them, and they actually have a nice animation. They look like kind of a white phaser, and they have their own they have their own sound. I would love to have a set of them, because then it would be something a little different. The other thing that pisses me off is withering disruptors are red. It's just a little thing. I'm sorry. Red is anti-proton last time I checked, and disruptors are green. And making them red is like, why did you do that? Why not? Do you know how many shades of green there are? There are 50 shades of gray, as we all know from the stupid book. But do you know how many shades of green there are? About the same. And, you know, you could add more colors to the game. The game engine can handle it. I'm pretty confident the game engine can handle it. And it's almost time for them to do another big engine upgrade anyway, because they do it every few years. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do an engine upgrade anytime soon. So, babbling on, so there's a couple tricks for you, if you didn't already know that. Basic stuff. Crouch in combat, use your aim button, makes you walk slower, but you do more damage. And just have a plan. You know, you'll notice my kits are planned, my ship is planned. Is it the best plan? I don't know. It works for me, though. I tend to not blow up, and I tend to hand out a lot of debuffs to the enemy, because I more or less just use fire at will, fire at will, fire at will. Because I don't care about the damage, so I don't really care if I'm, you know, got my power levels spiking left and right because I'm using fire at will all the time. Because I'm all about the deep. I just want that proc. So the more times I can shoot, the more procs I'm going to get. And hopefully you find my debuff build kind of cool, because I made it up myself. I made it myself. And I do have some random things that I'm going to change out, but keep in mind I have a turn radius that's just out of control, because I've got a 20% turn rate, or 40% flight turn rate there, and another 20% turn rate here, and another 40% turn rate here. So for a cruiser, this thing actually turns pretty tight. It's not so bad for a turret. I always get nervous when people stand around me. Anyway, so I know they're half AFK like I am. What's the next event anyway? Oh, tides. 9 minutes. Might have to do that. So, Smiley, you Klingon? Oh, and the embassy console. I run the plasma proc one. It's plasma generating weapon signature. I run it more for the threat gen than anything else, because it increases my threat generation. So as an engineer, I want the enemy to shoot me because I can take more damage than, say, the tacticals.
Don't you want an Epo friend?
Or most science officers. So I want the enemy to shoot me, so I got that console just specifically for the threat gen. And here real soon, I'm going to go get another versatile kit from the research lab, and I'm going to get the one that has draw fire, the tactical ability draw fire, because that would be perfect. And then I couple that with my shield tanking abilities and run into a bunch of the enemy, AI enemies in particular, hit the draw fire, they'll all start shooting at me. Awesome, because I'm the ground tank, at least with that kit and that set on. And that's the other thing. Don't let your spec lock you in. People, your spec has to spec and spec spec. You want to see my spec? I'll show you my spec. Now, it all depends on, if you're min-maxing. I don't min-max. I want to be able to do a lot of different stuff because I'll get bored if all I'm doing is DPS on attack in an escort constantly, over and over. Can't hack it. So I want to be able to change it up. So when I made my trait, my spec sheet or skill sheet, I've got a couple of them maxed out, a couple of the cheaper ones, but you'll notice the vast majority of them are only at 6. Because when you look at the spec and when you look real close, you'll notice that once you go above 6, it's expensive and the payoff is not very good. Talk about diminishing return. Once you get above 6, check it out. Go do. I always encourage people, look it up yourself and see if it's the kind of trade-off you're willing to make. So you'll notice that there's some 3s, some 6s, and I did of course max out because there are certain things that I do want to do. I want to be able to take as much damage as possible, and I want to be able, to resist like power drains and that kind of stuff, so I can keep my shields up, keep helping my friends with a few abilities. Now in space, I'm actually kind of a greedy engineer, because most of my heal abilities are personal. That's why I have threat gen and that kind of stuff, so that rather than heal my team, I would rather just soak up as much of the enemy firepower as I can, and leave them free to do what they need to do. But I haven't respec'd in forever, so this spec is definitely very dated. And you'll notice, I didn't buy into projectiles or any of the specializations way up because they're expensive. And the payoff is, what do you want to do? I was more into generating power, more into keeping my ship intact than I was doing damage. And my spec skill sheet clearly points it out, shows it. You'll also notice kind of ground heavy. And, I wonder why. But not in like generators, because who cares? If your fabs have an extra 50 hit points, who cares? Who cares? Put them where they won't get shot. Meaning like around a corner, or around a corner, or behind the crew, or behind your cover shield. There's a million places you can put your fabs. Now, of course, they have a bigger radius and they do more output and that kind of stuff. But it again comes down to, what do you want to do? I was moving more towards personal protection and shield tanking kind of stuff, so that's what I pushed into. And this, the more I look at it, this is a shitty spec. I'd like to change it around just a little bit, based on what I do now, because this is based on what I did then. And this, like I said, this spec is like 4 seasons old, 3 seasons old, and I'm at a point, I'm out of spec tokens. Oh, it's hurtful, hurtful, hurtful. Alright, now with that in mind, I'm going to step away for just a minute, and then we'll continue on, and I'll go do something else. Maybe we'll do a standard queue for a little bit, because I've been doing this winter stuff for a long time. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. This is Permadeath Extraordinaire.
Eppos! Cuddly and friendly Eppos! Don't you want an Eppo friend?
Alright, and we are back. So, let's go pick a fight. Let's go into a queue real fast, because I do want to get some Delta marks. So I gotta do bug hunt. Is bug hunt the one I need to do? Yeah. So we go bug hunt. Not Borg. Bug
Assimilated
hunt.
snowmen are approaching the gate to the Winter Wonderland. They will arrive in 1 minute.
We'll go do that first. Unfortunately, it's since it's happening. Gotta go. Gotta protect Winter Wonderland. Oh, there we go. Join the battle. And I never do blue lozenge, so we'll just hang out here. And then I'll go do the queue. Probably gonna do bug hunt, because I need Delta marks. Saving up. Have we done anything? Discover Q's intentions. Yes. Yes. They hid the dope. Damn it. Got it. Got it. Oh, can't collect those yet.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
I even use the snow gun nobody uses. That's how anti-crowd I
Snowmen are
am.
coming down all 4 lanes.
And I've just learned how to make it work. I just, you know, count myself as artillery. I do want that gumdrop gun. That's kind of a cool gun.
Snowmen are coming down Black Diamond and Crimson Cube lanes.
It's like a gumdrop pulse wave. I kind of want the flurry too, the flamethrower. I'd probably do a little bit of action work with that. Oh shit, this guy's not kidding. He really does need support over here.
Snowmen are coming down all 4 lanes.
He wasn't kidding. I just saw that in zone chat. It's like, oh, okay.
Snowmen are coming down Black Diamond, Crimson Cube, and Gold Sphere lanes.
Alright, takes care of those. Let's move this turret back. Fix the turret.
Snowmen are coming down Black Diamond and Crimson Cube lanes.
Alright, sweet. Looks like it's under control now.
Enemy targets on sensors.
I think I'm gonna strike a pose any second. Here, we'll just go hide for a minute.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
Activate our tribble again. Gives me a cold resist. I guess I could wear an environment suit. That would probably help. I do have one, but nah. Oh, where'd he come from? Oh, it's a person.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and
I
Blue
was,
Lozenge
I was gonna
lanes.
take him out. Almost had a friendly fire incident. Could have been bad. Oh. Strike that pose.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube and Gold Sphere lanes.
Oh, wow, turret just took those guys out. Oh, those guys just took me out.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
Oh, striking the pose already? Damn, thought I'd last a little longer. Should get close to the turrets, they actually, give warmth.
Snowmen are coming down Gold Sphere and Blue Lozenge lanes. Snowmen are coming down Gold Sphere and Blue Lozenge lanes.
Nothing? Nothing? Wait, aren't they getting through yet? They're gonna start doing the flanks anytime now, and we'll have to start watching those. Flanks being they'll appear, is it here? Yeah. They'll start appearing here, and on the opposite side. I think this wave or the next wave?
Snowmen are coming down all 4 lanes.
While we're waiting, we'll take out this crab. Maybe?
Snowmen are coming down all 4 lanes.
Oh, I think I made him angry. Yeah, go get him, flamethrower guy.
Snowmen are coming down all 4 lanes.
Oh, these silly little missions, I love them. Again, I think part of the appeal is because you don't, you know, it's not do or die, like most of the other missions are.
Snowmen are coming down
Oh,
all
there's
4
some of those
lanes.
flankers I was talking about. Get him.
Snowmen are coming down Black Diamond and Blue Lozenge lanes.
Aw. Wow, there's a lot of them. Is the turret working? No. Ooh, fix
Snowmen are
that.
coming down Black Diamond, Gold
Oh,
Sphere, and Blue
they got
Lozenge
me!
lanes.
No! It looks like it's time to run to the entrance. We'll repair this turret. And we're gonna make our way down. This guy here was the right idea. He just doesn't have
Snowmen are
sufficient
coming down
weaponry
Crimson
to make
Cube,
it
Gold
happen.
Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
Throwing his snowballs. He's trying.
Snowmen are coming down Black Diamond, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes.
Yeah, looks like Diamond Slope has gotten beat up pretty bad. I think it's going to get overrun pretty fast.
Snowmen are coming down all 4
I'm
lanes.
going to try and fix that turret. That'll help us. Both turrets actually would help. Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Wow. Okay, let's go get this other one running if we can.
Snowmen are coming down all 4 lanes.
Oh, this one already got fixed by somebody.
On sensors.
Or maybe it wasn't broken and I'm silly. Either way, we'll go with this one. With this
Snowmen
one
are coming
instead.
down all 4 lanes!
I got the turret up.
Snowmen are
Oh,
coming down all 4 lanes!
icicle tower. Oh, dirt. I thought that was down on the platform the way the positioning was. I thought it was somebody using an ability. I was like, ooh, what's that? Oh boy. I think it's safe to say we've been overrun. Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes!
Yeah, they're making the great escape.
Snowmen are coming
And
down
my
all
gun,
4
it's
lanes!
rate of fire and all that gray. This one I
Snowmen are
wish I could
coming
put up a
down all
repulsor
4
dome,
lanes!
but no. But no.
Snowmen are coming
The
down Crimson
queen.
Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge
And
lanes!
frozen. Off to a good start.
Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes! Snowmen are coming down Crimson Cube, Gold Sphere, and Blue Lozenge lanes!
And there we go. Sweet. Quick reward. And let's go drop this stuff off in the bank, and then I'm going to do a quick bug hunt run, and then I'm probably going to wrap up the stream. Pick it up on another night. But we definitely have to get into at least one real queue. Use our actual pew 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 weapons. And with that in mind, let's see, how do we want to play it this time? What am I wearing right now? What do we got? Just normal bunker kit. Standard bunker. Yeah, I'll probably do that. But I did want to change something. First off, let's drop this stuff off. And go to normal bank, drop the milk, the rest of the ingredients here. And I wanted to bring that. Because we're going to try it and see how it works. Will it not fit in my kit? Mechanic kit module. Okay. Guess it was just being stubborn. And we'll drop these off. I could use another cryo bomb. I should probably get another one of those, because I do like that module. It's a pretty nice one. But I don't think I've got 2 of them. Flash freeze bomb. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab one. Because I did want to have 2 of those kit modules. Okay, let me double check just real quick and make sure I don't have more than one. So there's one flash freeze bomb. No. No. That's just the normal transphasic, so yes, I do need a second flash freeze. Let's grab that real quick, get that out of the way. Just for future use. I might run 2 kits with a bomb, and I like freeze bomb. I think it does less damage than the transphasic, but I like the fact that it freezes the opponent. Type 1 right there. I also need another one of those from attack. Sweet. Alright. This character's almost got everything he needs, so that's good news. And we'll just put these separate for now. That's my transphasic. That's my flash freeze, and then the other one's in my kit. Alright, so let me put this actually far and away so I don't confuse the two. Alright, and then put those back into the account bank. And change out quick gear. Gonna just stick with my standard bunker. I'll keep the Dyson set because it's good for bunkering. It's also good for shield tanking, by the way. I could use it just as easy as the Mako set. Because it gives the hunker down ability, which is a huge damage resist. Let's see, what do we want to run? Decisions. Let's go Tetra now. Actually, if we're gonna bunker, let's do that instead. It's a Radiant. And let's see if this will even pop right now. Guess we'll find out. Bug Hunt, Elite. Wonder based on odds of success. Elite, the NPC usually gets killed, and we don't get crap for it, so we'll just do an easy advanced run. If I had a medic with me, I would do the Elite. The secret to keep Vandeer, whatever his name is, alive at the end on Elite is don't cluster around him and don't put fabrications around him. Fabrications have a huge threat generation, so the enemy will go right for him. If you have any medical abilities at all, use those to heal him. And try and draw as much fire away from her as you can. It's a creepy looking tune. Those tunes like that are just weird, man. Why? Why? Why would you do that? If that's you, Smiley. Okay. I was gonna say, please no. Don't be one of the giant girl tunes, please. As amusing as they are. I wonder if this thing's actually gonna pop. The queues are probably really slow right about now. We got 3. It's getting up there. What's the other? I don't think there's another ground one I can do for Delta Mercs, unfortunately. Other than go to Kabali. Which I like Kabali. I wish it had a few slightly harder missions. It has its moments. It can definitely be difficult. Nope, wrong queue. I'm looking at the wrong queue. Three. Come on, come on. I guess while I'm waiting, I could do competitive race. Why not? I don't have any weapon that'll work in Winter Wonderland now, so I can't really participate in any combat things. Well, I guess I could and just let everybody else do it. Do the fighting. But I do want to do this queue. Might have to do something space. Spire, board disconnected. I gotta get Delta marks, so I'm kind of limited on what I can do at the moment. Saving up for something. But, board disconnected. It's a pain in the ass. Kinda. Only 3, it's still locked at 3. I just need Delta marks. Guess I could do the Storming the Spire. I generally try and stick to the advanced. The elites, I hate to say it, are a little too much for my ship right now. I can debuff, and if I had a more organized team, then I could probably take better advantage of it. But with just pug groups, it's really hit and miss. So I would like to have a slightly tougher ship, I guess, before I would start going into elites. It doesn't look like anything's going to pop. It's very slow right now. I guess we're just going to have to hope that Bug Hunt pops. Alright, we got 4. And maybe I'll be able to run the race before it pops. I mean, it will eventually, it's only a matter of time. I was noticing a comment in chat here. The old racist Batman serials from the 40s. Oh, okay, I was thinking about the 60s. I haven't seen the old ones from the 40s. Because I was going to say the 60s ones weren't, I wouldn't say they were racist. A little absurd and over the top. Yeah, racist? I don't think so. I do read zone chat, it's dumb. Sometimes. It depends. Typically they're talking about Gorn jokes and bacon. Or how much DPS and gold gear they've got. I haven't even started, really, I just recently decided to choose a specialization for my characters. I've done no research. I'm just raising my research levels up to 15, because I heard that's good. And yeah, so I haven't really done any research or anything. So, we'll see how it turns out. Uh-oh, missed my jump. Oh, go, go, go. Thought I was going to slide off the end for sure. Thought it was all over. Oh, I totally just boffed it right into the trench. And right into the rock. Nice, well done. See if I can get over this one. Yay for me. Maybe trying the roll trick. Problem with the roll trick is you're frozen up afterwards for a little bit, so you're kind of stuck for a minute. Grab that flag! I missed it. This platform is killer. Killer. Now, at least got my 3 points. I do like the ice race. And that damn queue hasn't popped yet. Hopefully it didn't replace me by putting me in the race. It didn't take me out of the queue, did it? Oh, you evil bastard, it did. Alright, fine, I'll go with the elite one. Okay, so we know not to do that in the future. Oh, well done. Well done. Alright. Grumble, 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 grumble. I guess I should have known. I had a suspicion it was going to do that. Oh, no Christmas stuff in that. Alright, I understand. I understand. Duty officers, current map.
You is a
Nothing.
genius. So handsome.
Nice. Nice. Oh, finally succeeded at the snowball fight. That's a really hard mission to pull off, actually. Failed it a few times. Oh, hey. Nice. Now we're gonna do that later. I usually don't even really look at these. I just see which ones I can do without having to replicate anything, and go to it. Maybe if I find a rare, I'll do it. This one, I don't have the officer, so screw it. And do I have the right kind of people? Not really, but good enough. Admiralty, I think I've got ships in dry dock right now recovering, so I'll do that another day. I could do some reputation real fast. Hey, with some new car marks. It's usually the one I have the most of. Delta and building stuff. So I'm saving.
Peace is good for business.
No. Oh wait, Iconian, I do want to do that one. It's Delta I don't want to mess with yet. Because, like I said, I'm saving up for something. I hope that queue pops. Doesn't pop in the next minute or two, and like just wrap up the stream anyway. I'll still be in game, smiling, so if you want a message or if you have any questions or anything like that, you can find me. But I'll be drifting around for a little while. Yeah, and that'll give you an idea. I still am
A
sitting
wise
on
man can hear profit in the wind.
3,000 Omega mark. So yeah, I used to do a lot of STFs. Quite a few. I still do STFs because I still think they're pretty fun. And it's interesting to see how the new people are messing it up. They're doing it about the same as they always have. The usual. Rushing the room too early and infected, and losing the officers, falling in the soup in Jessica's room. Kittimer is pretty much the most popular still because it's the easiest. People still mess it up. I've seen them do weird things in the room, activating the nodes. Alright, I'm giving up on this queue. It's not happening. So with that in mind, I think we've had enough Star Trek fun for the night. And I've been chatting and a-chatting and a-chatting. I'm going to drink some tea, relax a little bit. I think that's what's going to happen. So, in any event, I am going to wrap it up here and say, as always, this is Primitive Extraordinaire, and until next time, loving y'all.